but we cannot leave this episode without talking about this scene where Dwight is interrogating Ben Franklin because Jim has convinced him that this is the real Ben Franklin who has time traveled to visit us at Dunder Mifflin. He's 99% sure it's not the real Ben Franklin, but he's going to interrogate him anyway.
Yeah. The scene was so funny.
So funny. And Dwight is just like challenging him with questions about the time period when he lived. And Andy told us that this was one of his favorite to shoot, and this is what he had to say.
This is where my research into Ben Franklin came in handy. There were a bunch of scripted lines in that scene where Rainn Wilson is challenging this Ben Franklin impersonator, trying to trip him up to find the lapse in his knowledge about Ben Franklin. And so he's just throwing all these questions. But one that he improvised was, are you nearsighted or farsighted? That was not in the script. It was never discussed beforehand that he was going to say that. He just threw that out in the middle of a take. And I, because I had just read the Wikipedia page about Ben Franklin, knew that Ben Franklin invented the bifocals. And he invented the bifocals because he needed them, because his distance sight was challenged, as was his reading sight. And so I was able to say, without having to think about it or hesitate, both. That's why I invented the bifocal. And that is an unusual kind of magical improvised moment. It's so strange that he asked me a question for which I was prepared with the perfect answer. It's very strange. And in fact, when they called cut, I remember Mindy Kaling saying, "Did you guys work that out beforehand?" And we were both like, "No." And we were all kind of stumped. It's very strange that that's an improvised moment. It ended up in the show, of course, because why wouldn't it? So yes, that's my answer.
Amazing. Lady, this is, my nerdy moment where I say it's the group mind.
Also, actors, this is why you need to do your prep work.
Always, always.
Guys, actors do not just show up on set and just make it up as they go. We study. It's a craft. Yeah. We take it seriously.
I always try to flesh out my character. And if they've given me any kind of nugget, like, obviously he had Ben Franklin, I do a deep dive. So I have all this in my head in case I need it.
Lady, do you think that's why we do all these deep dives for the podcast? Is it our actor brains at work? Because that's the kind of stuff I would do for a scene.
Yeah. It's also, Jenna, a little bit of a glimpse into maybe the fact that we were kind of the dorks in college who hung out in the library.